Hi, my name's Janessa, and today I'm making a video about something that I've struggled with for as long as I can remember, and that is hyperhidrosis. First and foremost, if you are a fellow hyperhidrosis sufferer, I give you my greatest apologies. I know how hard it is to live with this. And second, if you don't have hyperhidrosis, but you're just here because you want to learn about it or whatever reason, basically hyperhidrosis is excessive sweating. So I've been planning to make this video for so long, but I really haven't because a lot of people who suffer from hyperhidrosis I've found tend to not talk about it. It's something that we kind of keep to ourselves because people see sweating as being gross. We've grown up with people noticing our sweating and being disgusted by it, so we learn to kind of hide it and keep it inside and not let anyone know. It's only recently kind of that I've even opened up to my family about my hyperhidrosis, and nobody in my family has hyperhidrosis despite it being genetic. So that kind of added on to feeling so alone. So to start, I'll just talk a little bit about growing up with it and what I experienced to see, just to give kind of background to myself. So the earliest memory that I have of hyperhidrosis really stands out um, as being holding brown paper towels. When I was a kid, every single store, restaurant, establishment had these brown paper towels, and I used to have to get them, wet either with water or with my sweat, and then I would hold on to them because I don't know, it was just a comforting feeling to have those brown paper towels, and I couldn't go shopping without stopping in the bathroom to get some first. And then I remember realizing my sweating was abnormal when I was, I don't know, 6 maybe. We were doing a school play in my elementary school. I think I was like first grade. And one of the dances, all the kids had to hold hands with each other. And I remember instantly my heart sinking because my palms were sweating. And I was about to have to hold hands with somebody. And I held their hand, and they were really grossed out by it. And the teacher made them hold it. And it was seriously traumatic. Like, I know it sounds stupid, but as a little kid, having everybody in my class probably notice that I had sweaty palms was mortifying, and it probably shaped me for, growing up in school and feeling like I had to hide it. And yeah, sorry for all the ums. So that was kind of early memories. As I got older, my hands continued to sweat all the time, no matter what, especially if I got nervous or excited. Really, any strong emotion would bring about waterfalls through my hands. My feet also go crazy. Sometimes I can see drops of water just sitting on my feet when I'm laying in bed, and it makes my shoes smell. I could smell my shoes from like a mile away when I did sports in high school. My cleats in my locker smelled so bad from my sweaty feet. And, I wasn't about to say they were mine, but everybody in the locker room would comment on the smell, and it was from my cleats. And because I kept my problem so secret because I was embarrassed, I never got any advice from anyone on how, like, oh, get these little shoe deodorizer things or get a second pair of shoes so that they have time to kind of dry out and not smell as bad. But yeah, so my feet, armpits, sweat, sometimes so bad that it drips all the way down to my elbow. I'm gonna start sweating just talking about this. So armpits, feet, hands, my groin started, especially after puberty. I noticed I would leave like a sweat mark on my chairs in school. so I had to kind of come up with a way to sit up and wipe the sweat away at the same time, or I would sit on a sweater or something to keep my butt sweat from showing on the seat. And yeah, so as I got older, I noticed some things online were saying as you get older, sometimes sweating gets less severe, but I kind of noticed the opposite. And I don't know if it was the sweating was actually getting more severe or if I was getting fed up with living with it. I had gone through school, college, full-time job, and all while sweating like a freaking mad woman. And I kind of was to the point where I was crying. I'd start sweating and I'd start crying. It was ruining my plans. I felt embarrassed. I couldn't walk in my friends' houses without shoes because I would literally leave footprints because my feet were sweating. And it was just all becoming too much, you know. Living with hyperhidrosis is something, I know everybody says this, but it's honestly something I wouldn't wish upon anybody. It's startling how little it's talked about and how many of us have it. It's truly startling and sad because sweat's seen as such a gross thing. We're all supposed to hide it and not talk about it and be ashamed of it, but I'm sick of it. And so I have sought help for this problem. When I was a teenager, probably after puberty, I went to the doctor and I told them, hey, I'm sweating. My mom said, hey, she's sweating. They prescribed me the, what is it called? Dry Sol, the roller ball thing. That you're supposed to put it on your hands, your feet, wherever you sweat, and then I believe you're supposed to like cover it or something, wake up and sweat free. And it did cause me to be sweat free, but only for a little bit. And every time I had to sweat, I would get the most painful stinging sensations in my palms, like because the sweat couldn't escape, it actually hurt. So that wasn't a solution that I could live with, was dry salt. It just didn't fit with my life. And so I just found ways around it. Like I would bring extra paper to put under my palm while I wrote. It doesn't help that I'm left-handed, so when you're sweating and you're writing and it's dragging, it's not pretty. I found ways to live with it, but I sought help again after actually crying and looking up suicide rates and hyperhidrosis and reading about a story of a man who killed himself because of his sweating. I was like, I need to go see a dermatologist. I can't live this way anymore because I was starting to feel like, how am I supposed to live my life with this problem? How? I can't. So I went to a new doctor. He was super nice, super understanding. He referred me to a dermatologist. I went to the dermatologist. She was super nice, super understanding. She tried to prescribe me topical treatment again, like Drysol again. And I told her, hey, I tried this before. It didn't really work out for me. Is there anything else? And luckily I had my excellent husband. He also was doing a bit of research about hyperhidrosis because he knew how much it was getting to me. And he discovered there was some medication for it. So he mentioned that to the dermatologist, and she was like, you know what? Yeah, I've heard of that, and it is a viable treatment option if you're willing to try it. It has all these side effects that go along with it, but it's something that we can most certainly look into. I was like, great, because at this point, I don't care about side effects. I just want to stop sweating, right? So the medicine's called glycopyrrolate, and it's actually meant to reduce stomach acid, but for some reason it stops or it reduces sweating as well. And I take that medicine and it does help. And I still have some days where I sweat, but a lot of days I can be pretty dry for the most part. And it's really been a game changer. So, you know, I guess what I'm trying to say here is, one, you're not alone. I understand how horrible sweating feels to the point of just wanting to scream at the sky and ask, why is this happening to me? Why? Two, there are treatment plans available. Sometimes you might go into the doctor and they won't get it. Keep trying, keep working with healthcare professionals, especially dermatologists. Three, again, you're not alone, as much as it might feel like it. There are people out there who get the struggle. Does it make it any easier for you? Maybe. Does it make your sweating stop? No. But there are people out there who also struggle. And this video, to some people it might seem pointless or stupid, and to me it's kind of like, going into this video, I wish I had more words of wisdom to offer, but I don't. I guess all I'm saying is, this is me. I struggle with it. I still struggle with it. And I'm trying to treat it. I'm willing to try other things as well. And I'm willing to hear recommendations in the comments if you want to leave them. Otherwise, leave your story. Let me know I'm not alone. Because sometimes I still feel that way. Even though statistically I know there's other people out there and I've talked to some online, it still feels so isolating and hard. So I can make another video about glycopyrrolate, which is the medicine that I take for it, talking about the side effects and everything. If I probably will, just for the heck of it. And let me know if there's anything else you want to know. I'd be willing to answer. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you for tuning in and watching this. And I hope you all have a lovely day. Bye.